Hello guys, this is Becca and little Zane here. Looks like my hold on guys, hold on, I'm gonna see if I can clear this a little bit. Sorry, looks like my camera was foggy or smudgy. Maybe that's better. I don't know. I don't know what it did to the color. Now there we go. It don't look as smudgy now. There him is. I had to clean the lens. Okay. Hi guys. This is Rocking with Becca. Sorry it's so late, but had a lot going on. Not really a lot of activity per se for me. Well, let's just get into our Rocking with Becca and it will explain things. This is going to be a little bit different. I don't have a shout out today. And my topic today is going to be me. The topic today is me. Oh, Becca. I'm just going to kind of give you a little update of what's been going on. This week has really been a tough week. I'm going to feed Zane while I'm talking with y'all. This week has been a rough week. My surprises at the beginning of the week were very needed. Very needed. I don't even remember what day I got my surprises. It was this week, I know. Tuesday, maybe? I can't remember. But I'm going to say the past 2 weeks has really been very stress-filled or anxiety-filled or however you want to state that. I've just really had a lot of anxiety. All last week, my anxiety was high, knowing that I had to go to the dentist Thursday. This past Thursday, I went to the dentist. And guys, my problem's not solved yet. I went to the dentist and he checked my tooth out. And he said, of course, he knows that I have high anxiety about a dentist. I always have. I don't remember the incident, but my mama has told me the incident, that all she can figure out when, and I might have told you on a previous video, but I've always, all my life, have had anxiety about going to the dentist. And when I was a kid at home, I remember Mama having, the dentist prescribing me some medication for her to give me right before she brought me to the dentist to kind of help calm my nerves because I had such high anxiety. I do remember taking the medicine. I don't remember the incident of why I was so scared of the dentist. Mama says all she can figure out is when I was 2 years old, every one of my teeth in my head rotted. And she had to take me, and I had silver caps on every tooth in my mouth. And apparently, at that age, having to go through that caused anxiety, caused, me to be fearful of the dentist. And even after I got grown and went to the dentist, I would go, but I always had high anxiety when I went to the dentist, always. And anytime I get a tooth pulled, it's kind of like it's hard for them to get it dead enough that I don't feel the pain. And guys, that's a pain that I can't just bear without, they usually give me all the shots they can give me, and then I still feel feel it. And I don't know if it's just my fear when I feel that pain. Maybe it's not really as painful as I think it is, but it's my fear when I feel that pain. I don't know. But I've always had anxiety about the dentist. So all last week was anxiety over knowing I was going this past Thursday to the dentist. Well, him knowing my history, I mean, he don't know that story, but he knows my history of having anxiety about a dentist. And then he's one that has, tried to pull teeth and give me all the shots he could possibly give me, and me still feel it and all that. And so he knows that about me. So with all that being said and done, I actually told him I didn't like them. Before he ever checked my teeth, I told him, I said, I don't like y'all. I was saying it laughing, and he says, you and 99.99% of everybody else don't like us either. But anyway, he checked it, and he said the way it has decayed, that the tooth is going to have to be cut in sections to get out. So I've got to go to an oral surgeon, which I don't have big anxiety over that. I went and had a wisdom tooth cut out and never felt a thing. They gave me something to help me, to either not feel it or not remember it. I don't know just how it goes. I know they kind of put you out a little bit. But they're going to have to, I've got to call. I haven't called yet. I should have called Friday, but I didn't. I was trying to recover from my anxiety all week that I'd had all that all that week. And I didn't call Friday, so I've got to call Monday and set up an appointment with the oral surgeon. And they'll have to put me to, they won't just put me all the way out, but they'll put me out enough I won't feel it or won't care or whatever, won't remember it or something. But I'm going to have to go to an oral surgeon to have the tooth removed. And so I will have to go through the anxiety of the fact of leaving the house again. I don't know, guys. I don't know. I wonder if there's any hope for me sometimes. If you're new to my channel, meet Becca. All my issues, all my problems, all my troubles. Just for an update for the new subscribers, because I have gotten several new subscribers lately, but I have fibromyalgia, I have arthritis, I have high blood pressure, I have diabetes, I'm trying to think, high cholesterol, fatty liver problem, trying to think, is that all of the physical ailments I have? Now my mental ailments, I have depression and I have anxiety, which goes along with fibromyalgia. If you don't know what that means, look it up, honey. There's a list as long as my house or longer of the things that fibro causes or intensifies. It's kind of more like it intensifies it. It's just, I have IBS. Oh my goodness, the list just goes on. I'm obese. And just, but I have social anxiety so bad that I don't go anywhere if I can possibly, at all possibly help it. My husband does, now I do all the bill paying online and things like that, but my husband does all the, like going and picking up the groceries, picking our medicines up at the pharmacies, and, anything that has to be done outside, going to do. About the only thing I do is go to the doctor. I should be ashamed, and I am in a way, but yet I look at it as to the fact that, I can't help it. I've tried to press through and go on. People that don't understand someone that faces social anxiety and things like this, people that don't understand it will tell you, my own sister has told me, you just don't want to do it. You just don't want to do it. Well, to be frank with you, I don't want to do it because of the anxiety that I have to go through when I do it. So no, I don't want to do it. But then she will say, if you would just go on and do it, you'd get to where it didn't bother you. No, I've went on and done all my life. All my entire life, I have had this and did not know it. Was never diagnosed, so to speak, with it. Never told what I had. Never dealt with. And all my life, I would always wonder, what's wrong with you? When we would be in crowds, I just couldn't hardly stand it. Especially if my husband wasn't with me. If, like, when we went to church meetings at churches that wasn't our own church, when we went to church meetings, I would go. Well, my husband's a minister. He pastors a church. But when I would go to the church meetings and, all the pastors would end up sitting on a bench up front, and that left the pastors' wives to sit with either the pastors' wives or whoever. And that just, oh my goodness, I could not hardly stand that. I just could not hardly stand that. I don't know. I've always had social anxiety. Did not, up until the past year or so, realize what I had and why I felt that way and why it affected me that way. And all my life, I've had to press through and go on and do. No matter what, I had to, raising my kids, I had to go take care of things at school that they needed, and face people. And as a preacher's wife, I've had to be around other people and other preachers' wives and other, in large crowds at church, and, visiting other churches and going to youth camps. Oh my goodness. I know I've told y'all this recently, but as in our younger marriage, before we actually started pastoring, back in our early marriage, my husband, we've always, our churches had youth camps each summer. And I had been a couple of times and been a monitor when my husband was able to go, and that was horrible within itself, but he was there. I could see him, although we couldn't stay in the same dorms, because I would be a monitor for, the girls. He would be a monitor for the boys, and oh, that was horrible, just even with him there. But there was one year that I went. He couldn't go. At that time, we was not a pastor, and we was sitting, we was helping in a church, and the pastor's wife wanted me to go to be a monitor, and my husband highly encouraged it and wanted me to go be a monitor because they wanted me to, and he couldn't get off from work that year and go. He couldn't go. I consented and went. That was the most horrible week I have ever had in my life. The most horrible week I've ever had. It was so, my anxiety was so high. It was so stressful. It was so, oh my goodness. I thought that week would never end. And when I got back from that youth camp that year, I told my husband, and see, I still didn't know why or what was wrong with me, or, I didn't know a medical term for it, or, or anything. I didn't know why I was like that. But I told him, I said, I love you, and I try to do everything you want me to do. I said, but that's one thing I will never, ever do again. I don't care what pastor's wife. I don't care what you want. That is one thing I will never, ever do again, is go be a monitor at a youth camp without you. Never. And I stuck to it. I didn't. That was a horrible week. Guys, my anxiety is so bad that, like I said, I didn't know what was wrong with me. I didn't know to name it something. But when my oldest son, when they had their third child, their last child that they had, they lived I think 5.5 hours from us. And he wanted me to come and stay and help his wife, with the new baby, and, her recovering from having the baby and stuff like that. And so my husband took me. I don't drive. I wouldn't drive like that. I wouldn't drive that far by myself. My anxiety, that was one thing my anxiety would not let me even attempt to do. I just couldn't do it. I drove where we lived, and maybe even 30 minutes or an hour away from where we lived or whatever, but to drive that far to a place that I didn't know the way to and stuff, my anxiety wouldn't even let me do that. But I didn't know to pinpoint it as anxiety. But my husband took me, and I was going to stay a week. He was going to come back in a week and get me. That's my own son, my grandkids, my daughter-in-law. I like to have went crazy that week. I just about went crazy that week. I always thought it, I blamed it on, I just didn't like to be away from my husband. And that was part of it. I never have liked to be away from him. But that was not the all of it. Now I realize that was not the all of it. It was anxiety. It was anxiety working so hard on me of the unknown, what do I do? How, and I've never been comfortable with cooking for other people. Never. I can cook pretty good. I don't cook anymore because my husband said he would do it for me. So I don't have to cook anymore. But it's not that I didn't know how to cook. I've just never been comfortable. That was my son, my grandchildren. But to just freely get up and go do in their house, I couldn't do it. And I was under so much pressure, so much stress, so much anxiety that week. It was horrible. It was horrible. My youngest son had to have his gallbladder removed. And that was after we come and started pastoring here. And my daughter-in-law had to go do something. And so she asked me to come and spend the day with him because he was still having to take pain medicines. He was recovering from surgery, and she didn't want to leave him there by himself. I only had to stay 2 or 3 hours with him. And I drove myself there. It was just 30 minutes away. Oh my goodness. Yes, at my own son's house, when it was just him there. I had so much anxiety that I couldn't hardly stand it. Oh my goodness, I was so glad when I seen my daughter-in-law drive back up. And so, you see, I've dealt with this all my life. I've dealt with it, so I know that pushing on and doing anyway does not make it easier. Matter of fact, it makes it worse. But, you know, then I didn't know. There was no medical term put to it. I did not even know that was a medical situation, you know, that it could be medically diagnosed. I just didn't know what was wrong with me. I thought I was just some crazy person, you know. I don't even want to go to my children's house and stay. I don't, you know, I felt bad about myself because of it. But now that I'm 62 years old, my children has pretty much let me know what they think of me, and it's not good. I have come to the conclusion, yes, I'm a pastor's wife, and people may look down on me for it. I can't help it. But I have reached a place in my life that I'm not pressing on when I have anxiety, and that's any time. Anxiety is any time that I have to leave my house. Yes, I will go to the doctor, but that's because I'm going to try to get help. You know, like having a tooth pulled, I can't live with the pain of a toothache. It's because I'm going to get help. But I do my best to have the least amount of doctor's visits I can possibly have, because I cannot hardly stand leaving my house. So I was saying that to say, I don't even go to church. My husband does the Facebook Live services, and I watch it from my home, from the comfort of my home. That I don't have to be under the stress and under the anxiety of being in a crowd. And I've pressed through all my life. Went on and did it all my life. And it never helped the situation. Maybe if I knew what was wrong with me back then, knew a term for it, knew how to get some help for it. To be honest, guys, right now, I still don't know how to get help for it. I've talked to my doctor about maybe I needed a therapist to talk to. She never really, when I said it, she never really went on into addressing it. She would just go on with the medical part of it. So she's never really talked to me about a therapist, or I don't know where to turn to get help for my anxiety. I really don't. I don't know. I don't even begin to know where, how to do it or what to do to get help. So if I don't have anybody to help me or to talk with me, or, then the only thing I know to do is anything that causes that anxiety, do my best not to, allow that in my life. I don't know. But, anyway, I didn't know I was going to stay this long. I really, really thought this was going to be a really, really short Rocking with Becca. Forgive me, it's PJ Saturday, guys. It's PJ Saturday. So I haven't taken Zach out of his sleeper, and did I say Zach? Oh my goodness, I'm thinking of my twin up there. I haven't taken Zane out of his sleeper, and I just have my own house moo-moo on. So I hope you would just, I did comb my hair and try to make that decent. But I said, well, we'll just do PJ Saturday today. Zane's still in his sleeper, and Uh, Mariella's still in her onesie, and I just got my old moo dress on, so that's what we're gonna do today. We're doing PJ Saturday today. Guys, I don't know what's happened to me about my babies. I really don't. Since I got Mariella and Zane, it's the only babies I've had anything to do with. Except for my elf doll. I pulled out my Barbies a couple of times, but never did even change her clothes. You know, I've always wanted a Huxley kit. And I thought I only wanted it if it was reborn by LaDonna Briggs, you know. Well, you know, Mariella is a Huxley kit, but she was reborn by, oh my goodness, I can't even remember her artist's name. But when I got that little girl, I fell head over heels. And then I was gifted this beautiful baby right here in my arms. He's not a Huxley, but he's reborn by LaDonna Briggs, which is a style that I just love. And these are the only two babies I've had anything to do with. Now, I'm saying that, and I'm no way getting rid of all of my other reborns. I've got reborns, you know, that's special to me, and I'll probably go back to them. You know, I'll probably start doing things with them. But, you know, they hold a special place in my heart. But I say I want to rehome some, but it just don't seem like I can. Just don't seem like I know the people that wants the dolls I have. I don't know. I put them out there and nobody wants them. I don't know. I still, you know, I have my Joseph asleep that I'm wanting to rehome, and I have my Stephen asleep I want to rehome, and I'd like to rehome Poppy. And since I've gotten Mariella and Zane, there's a couple of others I wouldn't mind rehoming. But guys, I can't just give them away. Oh, you know, I've got a lot of money in them. Got a lot of money in my babies, and you know, I can't just give them away. I wished I knew where I could, you know, post them that they would sell, that I could rehome them to good homes. Because you know, I've got bills from having, you know, getting babies. You know, I need to be able to pay on those bills. And so I can't just give them all away. You know, I just wished I knew where I could post them, that someone would love them, you know, and want to buy them. I don't know. But I love my little Zane. He's a Kimby baby that was reborn by LaDonna Briggs. He was gifted to me by a good friend. Her channel is a Bushel and a Peck, or Bushel and a Peck Nursery. Doesn't have the A before it, just Bushel and a Peck Nursery. And I just love him. And my Mariella, I just love her. And I would love to downsize my reborns. I really would. So I wouldn't feel so guilty about. I feel guilty because I'm giving all my time to these two, but oh my goodness. I just love them so much. But anyway, I just wanted to kind of give you an update that I've just been under so much anxiety. I've been through it the past 2 weeks. Anxiety wise, I really have, guys. I actually did a video earlier the week. Well, not real early. I can't remember now. Well, it might have been Monday. I might have been. I can't remember if it was after I got these babies or not. This baby and my elf doll. I don't remember. It was sometimes this week. I can't remember just when it was. But I did a video telling about things I was going through, and I ended up deleting it. Matter of fact, I had it all the way uploaded, and it was just processing the video. And it was right at the end of the processing of the video before it uploaded onto YouTube. And I deleted it. I decided, no, I ain't putting that up. It wasn't good. It was all my stress bellowing out through my mouth and words. It wasn't, I mean, I didn't say no dirty words. I'm not talking about like that. I've just told you all the nitty gritty of it, of my feelings and what I was going through, and I ended up deleting it because I just didn't feel like it was really appropriate to put up. You know, I want y'all to like me, not think hard of me. But anyway, yeah, there's a wedding going on at our church this evening. An elderly man and woman is getting married. My husband is performing the ceremony, and I'm not going. I know people look down on me for that, but I can't help it. He's gonna do, you know, the Facebook Live, and I'll get to watch it that way if the weather permits. We are having stormy weather today. If the weather will allow the internet to stay up for him to video it, he's gonna video it. But anyway, all right, guys, I just wanted to come on and give you an update and let you know what's going on with me. Y'all, please just keep me in your thoughts and prayers. Any encouraging words would be great. I really have been through it the past 2 weeks, and it seems like it gets worse and worse, and I don't know how to get help. I don't know where to go to get help, or if I need any help. I don't know if this is a situation that I need a therapist for. You know, I don't know. I've never known it as a actual thing. You know, I've dealt with it all my life, but didn't know what it was. And just thought I was crazy, and you know, so I don't know if this is really, you know, if it's something I need a therapist for. I don't know. I feel like talking kind of helps me sometimes, but I don't know. I don't know what to do. And my doctor hasn't seemed to say anything about it. Like I said, I've mentioned a therapist a couple of times, and she never talked about it. She just went on to into what she was doing, talking about my, you know, my sugar or my blood pressure or whatever she was doing at the time. And I don't know. I don't know what to do. But anyway, I'm going to go and get around so I don't miss the wedding. It's probably after 4 p.m. here, and the wedding starts at 5. So I'm going to go and get things settled down where I can sit back and watch the wedding. All right, guys. I hope y'all have a great evening and night. I hope y'all wake in the morning refreshed and feeling good, and you have a good day tomorrow, and get rested up and everything for the work week. Oh, I don't work, but I can just imagine having to get up and go to work every day. I thank the Lord I don't have to. I could not handle that right now. I could not handle it. Guys, I'm going to tell you something that I have told very few people. I've never worked a public job. I say I've never worked a public job in my life. Now, what I mean, as a teenager, I babysit and kept, kids. After I got married, I did some babysitting. I did some house cleaning for people. I did some ironing for people. I never went on a public job until we moved to the town we're living in now. My first attempt, if you could call it a public job, and it drove me crazy. I didn't do it very long. I worked at a Curves. If you know what a Curves ladies exercise place called Curves. But it was like a franchise. It was just she just was going under that name. But she wasn't a real structured Curves. It was in a little country town that was 20 minutes away from us. And, she was just a down-to-earth person. And she would have me to come in and sit, be there if anybody come in, to work out or wanted to sign up or whatever, if she had, needed something. I only worked a couple of hours, maybe 2-3 days a week. So if you could call that a public job, she gave me cash. I never, had a W-2 form on it or nothing like that. I didn't work long enough to make enough, Then I attempted, after that, I thought, maybe if I could just get out and work, it would make me feel better about myself. I hired on to a dollar store. It was called, wasn't Dollar General, wasn't Family Dollar. It wasn't like Dollar Tree. Wasn't like, a chain store. It was just a little country dollar store. I can't even, Dollar something. I think the first name of it was Dollar, but I can't remember the second. Wasn't Dollarama. I don't remember. It was just this hometown dollar store. I hired on, went to work, and I know good and well someone walked out with a gallon jug of bleach that I did not ring up. And knowing that happened under me, this happened to me, and I didn't know what was wrong with me, but I had an anxiety attack that night. It was horrible. I had such an anxiety attack. I didn't know to call it that, necessarily. But I had such an anxiety attack. I was crying. I was shaking. I was crying. I cried until I cried myself to sleep. I got up the next morning. I could not even call the lady back. I was supposed to go to work the next day. I could not even call the lady back. I had to get my husband to call her. I had to go. I couldn't stay at home by myself that day. I went to my sister's house because I just couldn't take it. I just couldn't stand being alone, and my anxiety was so bad. And see, that's the only time I ever went and per se I worked a public job. Was maybe, I think I worked 5 hours that day, and I couldn't go back. I had an anxiety attack. I couldn't. It was so bad. There was no way I was going back. I could not see myself going back after that. all my life I have dealt with this. All my life I have dealt with this and haven't had anyone. The only thing that's ever been said to me about my nerves and my anxiety is I've been told, if you don't get a hold of yourself, you're going to end up in the mental institution like your Aunt so-and-so. But nobody ever offered me any help. Nobody ever told me where to go to get any help. They just left me with these thoughts that one day I'm going to get crazy enough, I got to go to a mental institution. And that was instilled in me all my life. Never once was help gotten from me. Never once. And so I don't know where to go to get help now either. So anyway, all right, guys. I could talk and talk and talk because of my anxiety. Like I said, I feel like talking would help. But I know y'all don't want to spend an hour hearing me talk about all this. So I thought I would be through in 20 minutes. And here it is, already almost 42 minutes into this video. So I'm going to go, guys. I'm going to let you go. I just wanted to come on. I started not to do a video, but I hated to let the day go by without doing a video. I don't know. I need the videos. I need them. Whether y'all enjoy watching them or not, I need them. I guess they're kind of my therapy. They're kind of my therapy. But anyway, I'm going to go. I hope y'all have a good night, and I will talk with you all later. Bye.